Hey, it's Noah, and welcome back to iHollywood TV, where our next guest appeared on the season 18 premiere episode of America's Got Talent last night. Please welcome Trigg Watson. Hi, Trigg.
Hi, Noah. How are you?
What's your name?
My name is Trigg Watson. I'm 33 years old, and I live in Los Angeles, and I am a magician.
Wow, you answered all my questions.
So first off, Trigg, you are a very modern illusionist, but how did you know this was what you wanted to do, even though you had a day job?
Yeah, magic has been a passion of mine for a long time, ever since I was a little kid. But as I got older, I just found that the world was only getting more and more magical, right? And that it
Yeah.
was getting harder and harder to compete with the fact that we just have these magic cell phone computers in our pockets that can pretty much, make food appear when we tap a button or,
Yeah.
allow us to communicate with people all around the world. So it just sort of felt like the art of magic was right for an opportunity to really use it to explore the future and explore where technology
Hmm.
is going, and that's really what I try to do in my work. And when I was working in a tech sort of oriented job, I started just seeing opportunities to take the magic of the modern world and use my magician skills together
Hmm.
to create something brand new.
Now, Trigg, when were you able to quickly catch on to incorporate your day job with magic?
Yeah, well, I actually started volunteering within my within my job
Hmm.
to like perform for the new employees. I often the people who already had the job would be invited to like, oh, help with onboarding or help teach them about the company, and I said, well, can I use a magic trick to talk about it? So I just started finding opportunities to weave in my magic passions into the job. I was always a popular at happy hour after work. I'd be
Yeah.
doing magic tricks at the restaurant just for fun. And eventually it got to the point where I was getting invited to perform within the company, just
Hmm.
for fun, different departments that I wasn't even a part of. And that's sort of when I felt like, okay, I've got some momentum here. And the scariest letter like that I ever wrote was my resignation letter from the company, telling them that I was leaving, and also could they please hire me back to to continue performing. And and I'm grateful to say that I have a great relationship with them. It's a firm that has continued to invite me to perform for their
Hmm.
events now as a as a performer.
That's incredible. Trig, I wish you could take something out of my screen right now. Take anything.
Well, how
Take
about Harry?
anything that you
Your
uh-huh.
coffee mug. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I could use a cup of coffee right now.
Yeah,
I'd
take
like to
my
magic
coffee
some
mug.
coffee over here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just hand it over.
That's right. Now, Trig, you bring your modern magic show to theaters, corporate events, and cruise ships around the world. Why bring it to AGT for season 18?
I think it's really about just having a platform to share what I do at the larger scale. As a
Mhm.
live performer, which is truly my passion, I think magic is strongest when people are experiencing it in IRL, because then they know
Yeah.
there's no editing, there's no camera tricks. Like you really know
Uh,
for sure it's happening. And I think with TV, it's a little challenging. But the thing about it is that when you're doing live shows, you can only perform for one audience at a time. And even if it's a big audience, it might only be 1,000 people in a theater, whereas AGT has a scale that allows me to
mhm.
bring my magic to millions at the same time. It's just a whole nother level. And that really is, what I'm so excited about having this platform, is to share what I do with the world.
Absolutely. Now, Trig, how long did it take you to prep or come up with the idea of what you wanted your audition to be on AGT?
Well, the challenging, I think the challenge with what I do is that because of a lot of what I do incorporates new technology, I have
Mhm.
to always to sort of stay one step ahead, and I can't, I don't always have the luxury of developing something over a longer period of time because the tech may not have existed until very recently. So, what
Right.
I put together for the audition, incorporating the hologram elements, this was something that I began playing with only at the beginning of the year. And just a few weeks before I was performing on America's Got Talent stage, was I beginning to put together this act.
Mhm.
So it was incredible, and it was an incredible tight turnaround. But it was also really exhilarating to sort of be creating something special that hadn't been done before, under pressure.
Yeah. Now, how was it like to not only impress the judges with your audition, but get to meet them in person alongside Terry Crews? I mean, this is such the greatest group of panel I think AGT has had.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, it's an incredible surreal feeling to walk out,
Yeah.
on in that theater with all the television cameras on and realize that you are now in the moment that you've dreamed about since you were in high school. I mean, I said on the show, that
Hmm.
I'd been watching America's Got Talent since I was a kid. Watched all the different judges over time. Howard
Yeah.
Stern and all of that, and to sort of having this out of body experience to be sort of half watching myself be on stage in that position that I've seen so many other magicians that I've looked up to in the past be on. It was pretty surreal.
Now, Trigg, moving forward in the competition, what do you have planned as far as your next act? Can you give us any teases? Like, what do you want to maybe share with your, fans and the AGT viewers next?
Well, I don't want to give too much away,
Yeah.
but Howie during my audition said something to the effect of, if you can take what you've done, take this tech and add something to it and make it even bigger than we've seen before. He said, I think you could win this competition with that, which is an incredible thing to say. So that's
Mhm.
really I've taken that advice to heart. I don't want to do something completely different. I'm going to take elements of my audition and reform them into a way that's even bigger and better. And I don't really want
Mhm.
to say much more than that.
Well, be sure to catch season 18 of America's Got Talent airing every Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on NBC and available to stream the next day on Peacock. Trigg Watson, so nice to virtually meet you. You take care, and I cannot wait to see what is next.
Thank you so much, Noah. I appreciate it.